Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. My name is Amir. Before I get into today's episode, just want to thank everybody for supporting the channel. I'm on my path to 2,000 subscribers and getting pretty close. So if you guys do enjoy the content or if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So for today's episode, I want to talk about the Miami Heat's point guard, Dru Smith. Dru Smith continues to play for the Miami Heat as our backup point guard. So after two preseason games, it does seem that Dru Smith is going to be in this Miami Heat's rotation, and he's going to be taking the responsibility as the Miami Heat's backup point guard. He honestly might be the only true point guard on this roster, as Terry Rozier is more of a combo guard, and Tyler Hero is a shooting guard, and then of course Alec Burks is kind of been used in the past as a point guard, but he's not really a point guard. He's more of a shooting guard. Same with Jay Rich. He's more of a shooting guard, small forward. But Jay Rich last season, before he got injured, was playing as our de facto backup point guard. So Dru Smith continues to be in the Miami Heat's plan, despite questions from the fan base. So Dru Smith, he's been cut by the Miami Heat 4 times in 3 seasons, but the Miami Heat have not quit on Dru Smith. He has been resilient and he has been determined to be in the NBA, and he has shown improvement in his few seasons in the NBA. So the first time he was cut was back in 2021 when the Heat waived him, when he had a Exhibit 10 contract. They put him into the G League program. He was waived again after the Miami Heat put in Orlando Robinson into the Miami Heat system as a two-way player before he got a standard contract. And then last year, we know Dru Smith was on the standard team contract. Played for the Miami Heat, played like 20 games or so before he suffered a ACL injury in a freak accident in Cleveland, which was super unfortunate because he was playing pretty well off the bench. And the Heat had to waive him last season to open up a roster spot for Patty Mills and for DeLon Wright to join the team. So it was unfortunate for Dru Smith. He's had an up and down career so far in the NBA, but the Heat never has given up on. Again, even after waiving him last season, Smith spent time working out with the Miami Heat's training staff, with the team. He attended practices occasionally and film sessions with Coach Erik Spoelstra, who has appreciated his dedication. Again, like I said, he's been super resilient. He's been professional. He's been selfless and determined. So Dru Smith has Erik Spoelstra in his corner. It's been known that Erik Spoelstra is a fan of Dru Smith. So we saw that Dru Smith was re-signed and received a 2-way contract in July. So him, Josh Christopher, and Keshad Johnson are the 3 players that we have on a 2-way contract. And so Spo, this preseason, as mentioned, he just makes winning plays after winning play. He said the guys love playing with him. He connects the group. He talked about his defense, how he's a tenacious defender, which he obviously appreciates. That skill set that Dru does bring as a point guard. He is someone who's willing to defend, not the greatest defender, obviously, but he's someone who tries really hard, which is something you need. So the Heat appreciate the little things that Dru Smith brings to the court. And again, with Josh Richardson still sidelined from last year's shoulder injury for the preseason, Smith has assumed Miami's backup point guard duties in the first 2 preseason games. He came in as the second 5. So he's part of that 10-man rotation. Again, we're going to assume that it's going to be situational. Alec Burks will be getting some time. I assume Pele Larson, the Miami Heat second-round draft pick, will be getting some time as another guard off the bench. And then, of course, there's Duncan Robinson, another guard off the bench. But the key here is they don't have point guards, really, true point guards on this roster. So Dru was really solid in Sunday's preseason win against the New Orleans Pelicans. He finished with 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block, and 5 assists in 16 minutes. So he needs to obviously focus on that 3-point shot if he wants to be effective and make the defenders be honest out there, because obviously they're going to play off of him if he's not hitting that 3. So Dru was basically talking after the game saying just play hard, play the right way, and try to get everybody involved. That's his approach for this season. We had Dru Smith on our roundtable, so we had to interview him as well, and he said that hitting that 3-point shot is something that he wants to focus on this season. Obviously, continuing to be better defender is something that he's going to focus on. So Dru Smith, over 24 NBA games, shot 33% from that 3-point range. But the staff in Miami still is impressed with him and his determination. One thing that he's really good at is, again, his assist to turnover ratio is elite. It's 4.5 to 1, which is why I think Spo feels comfortable having Smith out there leading the second unit offense, because he's making this offense efficient, which is huge. Like, he's going to be out there feeding players like Duncan Robinson, like Jaime Jaquez, like Kevin Love. Like, he's going to be our floor general, managing that second unit. Again, there's going to be times where he doesn't play, I believe. There's going to be times where Burks or Richardson are going to play based on matchups. But again, it seems like Dru is going to be our backup point guard. So my question to you, Heat Nation, is what are your thoughts on that? Do you think Dru deserves to be our second um, in line in terms of point guards, or do you think he should not be in the rotation at all? Let me know your thoughts. And again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.